no. Those guys are on hiatus. Um, we're taking over for the night. And, sometimes justice ain't cheap. So here we go.
Oh, I like that.
What's up, C. Wood?
Nothing much, man. Still recovering from my fun I had all weekend over at the Cincinnati Comic Expo. Just got done reading some books today. Ready to hear about the truth and how that's going to involve us all.
It's going to.
That's right. Truth, man. Truth and justice in the American way. What do you think, Chad?
I was handing it over to you, my friend, because nobody tells the truth better than you.
Well, before we get into this topic tonight, Alec can't be with us tonight. Story Comic Core is on a little hiatus, but have no fear. Story Comic Core will be coming back very soon to a Comic Core near you on Monday nights. But thoughts on the new YouTube changes? I first heard about these changes from Area 51. He had a great video, shared a lot of he had a Q&A video, and at the end of the video, he talked about the new YouTube changes and the new policies that YouTube is going to be putting in to protect children while they browse YouTube and look at videos. And this all stems back from the Federal Trade Commission charging YouTube a $170 million fine for not protecting child accounts or what the children watch and things like that. So what they're going to be doing is, YouTube violated the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which is supposed to, protect children's, the things they look at, how many, whatever they're doing online. You're not supposed to be tapping into the kiddos, like last truth video I did one that talked a little bit about the movie called The Great Hack, which is on Netflix. And it talked about how Cambridge Analytica used a lot of the Facebook data and analytics to, kind of sway the election into a certain guy's favor, So if you haven't watched the Great Hack, definitely watch that. And it'll open up your eyes to like what is going on with your data, like our data, and how they're using our data to control our minds and to influence us. And, it's a bunch of bullshit. I get kind of pissed just thinking about it, but y'all definitely need to watch that movie. Watch The Legend's Truth over there on youtube.com/rdowdy95. But man, they're really cracking down on collecting children's personal data. And so, like I said, $170 million fine. Now, this fine was way smaller than the $5 billion that the FTC got Facebook on after that whole Cambridge Analytica. And if you don't know a little bit about that, basically it was a company over in the UK that helped Trump win the election and helped win like 6 other previous elections, including the Ted Cruz Senate for Texas election as well, and then 5 other elections, by taking people's Facebook data. Remember, fans, I really went crazy on this. Don't set your Facebook profile to public. If you got that, you're screwed already, basically. But you're screwed anyway because they can still get it. But basically, they took all the undecided people and blasted them with those crooked Hillary ads. So $170 million opposed to $5 billion, when YouTube's 2018 estimated revenue was around $6 billion, and Google's 2018 revenue was around $137 billion. I definitely think they should have fined YouTube a lot more just for putting kids' data at stake, because like they said in the Great Hack video, last year in 2018, data became the number one commodity out there in the world. It surpassed oil, and it was like in the $1 trillion range as far as, this data is worth a lot of money because they get the data on these kids. They can pretty much tell what they're watching, what the ads are going to be targeting and stuff like that. So, and then there's going to be changes starting in 2020 here, January 2020, about this stuff too. So before we get to the changes, guys, like, I've got children myself, and like, it's a real big deal to me where I don't want my kid, anything my kid watches on YouTube and stuff like that, I don't want YouTube's analytics and Google's analytics to take that information so they can target my damn children with bullshit ads that make them want to buy something. Because, like I say in the last video on The Legend's Truth I did, that is all about social media influence. And are you what are you are you under the influence of social media? And a lot of us are. You know, when we get those little pop-ups and little notifications on our phone, we get that dopamine hit, and that really sucks us in that way. Doesn't suck me in because, you know, I'm outside the bubble, I can see all the bullshit, but a lot of you out there, y'all get caught up with it every day. Carson, Chad, well first, Chad, before I get to you, Carson, take us through the chat and then tell us what you think about these, man, this stuff going on.
Oh man, so the chat, it's starting to wake up a little bit. There's a lot of people that started live streaming tonight, so active night in the community. But we got Pocan Joe joining us. As usual, we have Bad News Chris Barrett in the chat. What is going on, man? We also have Downright Nerdy Podcast saying, hope everyone is having a good evening. I hope you are having a good evening as well. We got the Mastodon Comics and Collecting. Old Donnie is in the chat once again. And we got Who Dat Comics and Movies. I think he had a couple videos in the last few days, so definitely check those out. And Chris Barrett says he is under the influence of the Comic Core. So there's that. And then we also have joining us, YouTube is 90. Drink it in, man. We got 90 MF Comics. What is going on, Chad? Who that's asking when the next core auction is. Yeah, we need to figure that out at some point in time. And Mastodon says he's watching Boys 7, which, yeah, he's got a great panel going on over there as well. But other than that, you know, the whole data leakage, I mean, it's all scary stuff, man. I mean, it's the forever since the 90s when the internet kind of rose up from the ashes. It has pretty much been kind of the wild, wild west. So now people are starting to kind of see like, all this data it's valuable. And you know, at least on my end, like how many times do I need to see Simon Gotch burying Enzo Amore in a shoot promo, like
on the right side of the
screen? It's like if you watch one wrestling video, you will get that in your suggested feed. Don't know how or why. Don't know if there's like some sort of Russian propaganda in the background there, but man, it is a lot of scary stuff. So hopefully there's somebody out there, whether it be the FCC or somebody, trying to make a few things right, because it's like I said, it's all scary stuff.
But I mean, it's also protecting the young. I mean, I'm for some of the changes, 100%. I think the changes are going to help protect some of the youth or youths.
I wish they'd protect my ass. I'm 42, but I want some of this protection too, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, in the same breath, I mean, there are some people that have who have taken this as an opportunity to make a career out of it. And for those ones that have done that, I think that's going to be the ones that are going to be suffering the most. But you have, I mean, in any situation, there's always a workaround. So there's got to be a workaround. So from my understanding, if it's related to kids, so gaming, comics, toys, unboxing videos, unless you're moving towards more of the tech and that, you're going to be demonetized.
I know, dude. Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, oh my, you can kiss that sweet ass money goodbye.
Absolutely. And that, I mean, I get it, because I mean, my son's older and he watches the YouTube, some of these YouTube gamers and Twitch, and come on, let's be real. I mean, we all rage out when we play a video game every now and then and drop an F-bomb. And I think from that standpoint, it's protecting the kids. But from some of these people that are gamers, I mean, they're just going to have to. There's gonna have to be another platform that people are going to start utilizing. I see YouTube in the long run hurting itself and cutting off its nose just to spite its face.
I think they might even go to Mixer, you know, which is Microsoft's provided streaming service that they're get a lot of backing with Xbox One, and they try to integrate that into the Microsoft system, and then Twitch as well. But you never know. Kids will start watching Twitch and Mixer, and then you know, the FTC is going to be watching those companies as well to make sure that a lot of those streamers aren't, you know, trying to influence those children into different things as well. So, man, it's just a bunch of crazy stuff. So, like Chad said, toys, you know, the gaming, and even though we got Bowen statues around here, and we got these adult kind of collectibles, but it's like Chad says, you know, comic books, you know, things like that could fall under that umbrella. But the thing is, if you go into your, tags and everything like that, I always put, you know, the Great Legend Show as entertainment, because, you know, I may have comics in there, I may do some gaming in there and all that kind of stuff, but basically I'm not, you know, presenting the comic, I'm not presenting the game, I'm not presenting like the statues, the toys, whatever I'm showing. I'm presenting myself because I am an entertainer by heart. So that's what I do. That's what I've been doing for goddamn over like 25 years, you know, in my profession and things of that nature. So I'm always up on the stage and I'm always ready to entertain all the fans around the world. Now, the thing about it is, you know, I still get hit every now and then currently with, well, we can't monetize this video because, you know, whatever the algorithms or whatever the reasons are, I can't get stuff monetized. But that's okay, because I'm not really in this for money anymore. I kind of went through that phase, you know, when I was early in my YouTube career. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be a YouTube celebrity. I can't wait. I'm going to be making all this money and making all this bank. And when I was high into gaming, you know, when I was doing my gaming, I did make some pretty good money. It wasn't nothing to live on, but it was cool because I was able to take that money and buy new video games and buy new comic books with that money I was making on YouTube. But even now, so with these new changes taking effect in January 2020, these new changes are going to turn the YouTube comic book community upside down. It's going to change the gaming community. It's going to do a lot of things. And we all know some big time, well, I wouldn't call them big time, but you know, they make more money than I do on YouTube, but they're going to take a hit as well. And I can see them not happy about it. But the thing about it is, it doesn't matter what kind of money you're making. To me personally, it don't matter if you're like, this is your career, YouTube's your career. Oh, this is my business. Well, you know what? None of that crap matters, because the more important thing is this digital reality is taken not just the adults' data and, you know, trying to filter it through and give us ads and give us Simon Gotch and Enzo on the right-hand side of the screen. Give me more Freshly Squeezed with Orange Cassidy, not no Simon Gotch MLW, but give me some of that Freshly Squeezed. But man, I am glad that they're taking this step. And I think the more that mass media finds out about, you know, shit I was talking about in 2016, when a lot of the y'all comic book community people was like, making fun of me, you know, like because I believe in Mandela effect or I believe in artificial intelligence, you know, kind of doing stuff, you know, things of that nature, that this shit now is in the mass media and it's finally coming to light. And now all these people, those smiles, man, they may be turning into frowns because that money might be going away for quite a few of them, Chad.
Yeah. And I mean, we have 4 months because of it before January, but I mean, the people that it's affecting right off the bat is going to be the gamers, and it's going to be the people that are streaming like Peppa Pig and some of these other ones. Now, here's where it's crazy, because in 2019, we saw that the global gaming market hit a revenues of $152.1 billion, which is an increase of 9.6% from 2018. 45% of this will come from mobile, which is the largest segment of the gaming market. Mm-hmm. But $36.9 billion in 2019 was streamed over YouTube.
Tons of freaking money. And Apple has just announced they're going to be releasing Apple Arcade, which is going to turn your iPhone, you're going to be able to download all kind of games to the iOS device. So Apple knows this. They're jumping on the bandwagon quick because they've been losing sales, you know, to the other competitors. So Apple's getting into, like, they're going to really be cranking out all this gaming stuff. Now, there, of course, people are going to want to be streaming that stuff, and they're not going to be able to monetize a lot of it, because the thing about it is, kids don't watch television anymore. You know, these, you know, and I'm not picking on millennials, but millennials now have their own children. Millennials are that first kind of group of folks to like bypass. Hey, they cut the cable cord. They cut the satellite bill. They're going online TV only. Of course, a lot of it is a la carte now, you know, DC Universe, and you got the Disney app coming out and all that stuff. So they're doing a la carte, but they're the kids, man, the kids at a young age, I see 2-year-old, 3-year-olds walking around on the phone, volume skyrocketed all the way up. So the millennial children, I guess that would be Generation Z, they're kind of growing up into, they don't even look at the TV. They look at a small screen or a tablet. Carson, do you have any, you said you had a nephew, right? Do you have a nephew?
Oh. Yeah, he celebrated a birthday this last weekend. Guess what he got for his birthday? A freaking tablet.
Oh,
He just turned 10, so they decided he was responsible enough to have his own tablet. So I saw that picture on Facebook. So yeah, his mind is he's synced into the net now, basically going at how many kilobytes per hour.
getting all that. He's getting that
Yeah.
feed, man. He's taking it all in
Yeah.
from the digital land.
This
Chad,
article.
what do you think, man?
I was reading this article, and where it says this is the CEO of YouTube, and I can't find her name, but
She has
she
that
said,
weird last name.
yeah, it says whether you are an adult collector of comics who love toys and statues or not, you will no longer be able to monetize your videos the same way. So you are going to still be able to monetize, but they will be cutting it to a third of what it was.
Mm-hmm. A lot of you will have to, look at, a lot of you use TubeBuddy, and TubeBuddy is, a great little gimmick that can get you over. If your views are sucking or you don't have a lot of views, you can use this little deal called TubeBuddy, and that'll help you get over by tapping into the analytical data that YouTube gives to show what videos should be on top, what videos should be recommended, what videos pop up on the right-hand side of the screen, and you're getting all that good knowledge. But if you go by TubeBuddy, with these future changes there, because the thing is, you want to tell your audience what you're showing in the title, and then you want to go by title, description, and then tags. So if you're showing comics, you're pretty much gonna have to throw TubeBuddy out the door, and you're gonna have to get creative with your own tags and stop putting your all your freaking eggs in these gimmicks, these gimmicks, the analytical gimmicks that are gonna get your channel over, and go back and start doing stuff on your own to get over. You can't, because if you keep using that computer, they're gonna keep allowing it not to be monetized. But if you go into entertainment, maybe instead of typing in toys and stuff like that, or like collectibles or statues, you might want to put adult collectibles or adult toys. Guarantee if you put adult toys, I don't know if you're going to get monetized
You're
or
going
what.
to get a whole different stream of people watching.
You're going to get yeah, that's true. You're going to be getting some little freaky people coming to your channel. Hey, that may be the thing. I remember a couple of years back, a lot of the comic book community were getting into the ASMR, which was that audio sensory manipulation routine, or whatever the hell it stands for. But a lot of those comic book guys, they were, kind of weird ass people. And they were getting into that ASMR stuff and all that heavy breathing and, oh, let me comb your hair. And you get all those little sound effects and all that weird ass shit to, I don't know, create an orgasm for some damn guy that probably lives in the trailer of his mom's basement. No, that's just basement and trailer. That shit doesn't work.
Dig a hole.
Silver Age Dave has a great, he says, crap, that means I'll go from making zero to making zero. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're not monetized, and we have, that's not even our goal. I mean, our goal is just to bring the community together and try to have fun. But I mean, some of these guys, you think about it, like Comic Storian, for example. Comic Storian, he goes into he does a really good job of producing the shows and putting the images on there. And if they're demonetizing to a degree, cutting down who can view you, you're gonna see views go down. Mm-hmm. I know people always are biting for the subs, but let's face it, you're gonna see views on a lot of videos go down, and a lot of views. If you look at analytics and see when people are watching, the people that are watching, it's like that. Like when some videos get a lot of watch time and a lot of views, that time frame is when those little kids aren't in school and they're at home on their iPads.
Mm-hmm. And right when the bell rings, man, they go home, they lay on the couch, and they get on their iPads. In 1966, Silver Age Dave may have been one of those kick-ass cool kids that ran home after school to see the hottest damn soap opera on NBC, and I'm talking about Dark Shadows, no doubt. But now the kids are running home. They're not turning on the TV. They're going straight in to their, like you said, their tablets and stuff, man.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But I think there's going to be a lot of people that it's going to open some eyes to people that think that they can make this into a career, because then you're going to have to go a different direction.
It may discourage them as well, because I know some of them specifically, I guarantee, I know about 4 or 5 that want to make this a career, but the problem is now, here's the thing, fans, if you're watching this video, like Chad said, we started the Comic Core, for you, the person, the viewer, all for you. If you buy some of the t-shirts, that helps our channel in the long run, because we can put out more content, we can make more contests, we can invite people to different Comic-Cons around the nation. But you're going to find out, and you're going to see, will these changes, is this going to stop them making videos because they're not going to make any money? Do you think it will, Carson? Do you think that some of the channels out there that aspire to be, these famous channels and things like that, do you think they're going to stop making videos?
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I think, depending on how severely they're going to be impacted, they're just going to have to look themselves in the mirror and decide, why did they start their channel in the first place, and how do they want to proceed? I mean, if, say, you have a comic book channel that has just, gone through the roof in popularity and that stuff, and they're going to be affected to the point where they're no longer monetized, I guess they really got to ask themselves, like, do they really feel like making videos about comics anymore? Mm-hmm. If the answer is yes, then they can continue doing what they love, I suppose. And if the answer is no, then maybe they need to figure out a different hobby, or, a means to make money, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it looks like YouTube is kind of winning here big time, because, they're not only is it putting them more in the realm of compliance, but once again, they're paying the little guys a little bit less. So
now, one other thing that I want to bring up, and you brought it up earlier, and I'm a little leery about this though, is if you're making money on the channel that's not going through YouTube, you will be demonetized and up to channel termination. It says, It says examples, for-profit raffles. So, and if you're selling a subscription service.
Oh, so maybe the mystery box gimmicks.
Mm-hmm. Damn. So I know that they have a partnership program that you can utilize YouTube for. It's a partnership where you can do some kind of box or something. But
I would almost think auctions would fall under that too.
Well, auctions technically by the state of the law are somewhat illegal on YouTube, because YouTube's not endorsing it.
Right.
But I see that as an oversight. And we've done a ton of auctions, and we've been a part of auctions. My biggest concern is the subscription service. I guess they kind of want everybody to go. Long Box Diving made a comment, and I'm thinking that might have to be something outside, like Patreon. But again, if you're promoting it through Patreon, that does nothing to YouTube.
And YouTube, they have a deal called, they used to call them sponsorships or something like that, where it's kind of like Patreon. It's a Patreon type gimmick that YouTube uses. And I don't know how this is going to change, but they may just get rid of it altogether, where people can pay $5 a month to get different emojis, during the live chats or something like that. They might be getting rid of that. It's kind of like if you were to, God, I wish I remembered the name of it. They changed the name, but it used to be called YouTube sponsorships, where it was just like Patreon, but people could pay me $5 a month, and then I would give them their own specialty shows that only they could watch, stuff like that. But you have to have, the whole spiel over whatever it was, over 1,000 subs and, watch time and all that. But a lot of people out there in YouTube land have been buying subscribers. It's kind of one of those deals where I've told them multiple times in previous Legends Truth, you buy subs, they're going to purge. And then when they purge it, you're going to lose all those fake ass subs. So fans, if you're buying subs, just stop doing that shit, because that's not going to do you any good at all. It throws all the analytics off kilter and you're just like pissing your money away, kind of like y'all piss money away when you buy mystery boxes and you find out, here's the problem. If they do get rid of the auctions, then where are you going to sell all those shitty ass books you got in the mystery box when you were trying to get a CGC or CBS graded slab, but you have all them shitty ass variants that have a sticker price for 30 and they're only worth 15. So you're trying to sell them on an auction, but it's just a never ending cycle of a shit storm. It's like you're trying to climb that shit rope, and every time you grab it, the shit breaks in your hand, and you got shit all over your hands. What do y'all think?
So, TMC Comics has a question. He says, Area 51 also said on his videos that regarding comic book videos, viewers won't be able to leave comments.
Yeah.
I looked at that. They are talking about on the live side of things that they're gonna cancel the live chat if your channel is deemed
not kid friendly or something.
If it's deemed grotesque, violent, harmful in some form or fashion.
We better leave Drew off the next couple of shows. The shows. Just looking at that guy, you may want to go, hey, take a dump somewhere. I'm just kidding. We love our Drew Manchu, but sometimes it's hard to get a word in,
Yeah. So, and then Longbox came back. It says that YouTube is driving people to join channels. So, like, join the membership. And I think
that's the word. Join the channel thing.
Yeah. So I believe if you're a member, you can join. I think, from my understanding, when I read this article and read some of the information that we got today, that it's only going to be to subs. So it's going to make it very difficult for people to grow their channels because, let's face it, a lot of people they go onto YouTube and they check it out just to see, hey, what's this all about? And if they like it, they'll join in. I mean, I talked to John's Comics with Kids not too long ago, and he said that somebody would not watch his channel because he had kids in the title. Now, he does his show with his girls, but he's also talking and he does a lot of other things. Just because that, he was staying away from it because he didn't want that. I think this is going to not us, but like as a whole, people are going to have to promote themselves a little bit differently. They're going to have to hold themselves more accountable. Take it from a person whose channel got shut down because of child pornography. I mean, literally, we got hacked and it got our channel got shut down, which it should have. It should have 100%. There was no coming back from that. And but I think I personally think it's a good idea, but I think the direction we as a channel are going, I think in the long run we're going to be okay. Because we are definitely not trying. I mean, this is a collaboration of YouTube community. If anybody in the chat wanted to put a show on here, by all means, I will give you the username and password and you can put a show up. We just ask you to follow some simple directions and stay within the boundaries. But this is a community, and hopefully that continues. But
old Silver Age Dave, he says, I wish I can turn back to 2 years ago watching Legend on that and enjoying those comic community goodness. Too many people trying to turn the community into cash grab, which I don't like. And he's really right, because when Silver Age Dave came along back 2 years ago, we were still just enjoying comics and, just round table type discussions. But now you do see a lot of solo acts out there, really focusing more so on the monetary side than the person side, where, giving back to the people, giving them the information, letting them know why you like a certain book, and reviewing these awesome stories that we all grew up with and fell in love with. And that's why we love comic books and pop culture entertainment so much, is because it takes us back to our own childhood and we can kind of see that, and it's just a beautiful thing. But the more and more we see of all this stuff going on, it just gets worse and worse, I feel. But YouTube, I think they saw what happened to Facebook, the $5 or $6 billion fine the FTC put on them for all of the data being exposed to these companies like Cambridge Analytica, and, you know, the whole Australian guy putting the Black Lives Matter ads on the right side when all these folks were donating into it. And of course, he was just pocketing the money over there in Australia and didn't even care about, he was just some white dude anyway. He didn't even care. But YouTube's really jumping on this thing quick because, you know, they already had the Logan Paul crap going on, you know, so they already got, you know, shit on for that. And, you know, let me say, okay, on the Great Legend Show, let me tell you, I always say I'm a cussing Christian. You know, I love Jesus, but I do cuss like a sailor. Ain't no doubt about it. So yeah, on a lot of my truth videos, I've actually got them to say where my stuff wasn't monetized, because, you know, the analytics are seeing all the true shit I'm talking about, and they don't want that truth to be told. But the thing is, mainstream media, you know, the CNNs, the Foxes, the NBCs, the CBSs, they're all getting on the bandwagon. So all this stuff in 2016 that people thought was fiction, now they're seeing it as truth today. So I think that's a damn important thing to realize, because we are on just the beginnings of something that's going to probably turn a lot darker and a lot scarier in the future with this data, you know, not being protected.
John's Comics and Kids, you want to read that comment?
Yeah, sure. I was trying to put a joke up for him, but I didn't get a chance. I enjoy watching Seawood just read the chat and laugh when something funny pops up. Yep. So speaking of the old chat, well, while we still can read the chats, apparently, just in case something happens to the chats in January, I would like to say hi to everybody who's been joining us in the chat. We still have Silver Age Dave. He's been killing it tonight. He's one of my all-time favorites, man. I love me some Silver Age Dave and just the old time, the classic room tours, man.
It's like you're going back in time. His room looks like a comic book store, kind of. You know, it's awesome with the wraps and everything.
Best collections.
You know how he has that cutout that says Silver Age Dave?
Yeah. No creepers allowed, right?
Man.
That was like part of the inspiration for our logo thing. Do you mind? I'm gonna jump out of the screen. I'm gonna go get that. Okay.
Yeah,
absolutely. Go get that bad boy.
We also got there. Some Kevin R. What's going on, man? He's saying hi to Dave in the chat. We also have Jesse from JLS Comics. What is going on, JLS? That guy has been doing some awesome G.I. Joe retrospectives lately, so check those out on his channel. We got Mr. Media, mailman himself, Jason Smith. Always like seeing Jason in the chats. Always puts a smile on my face. We got Mr. Gretzky 9966. He had himself an awesome Those Guys at AOK earlier today, especially if you guys like them Archie comics. Check those out. Still got John's Comics with Kids. Longbox Diving, man. Definitely have to sub that guy up. He's had some great comments tonight and some good insights. So thanks for joining us, Longbox Diving. We got TJ, the Slab Dragon Watson. What is going on? He says the vast majority of channels he watches have no interest in making money and just share the love of the hobby and community. Shouldn't change his viewing habits at all. Yeah, TJ, he's one of the best. He knows a good channel when he sees it. We also got the Mastodon Comics and Collecting and Chris Barrett. They're chatting away in the chat. TMC Comics still in the chat. We have D Comic Queen. What is going on? How you doing tonight? Long time no see there. And then we also have Vu Hong was way up there. I wanted to acknowledge him way back when. What is going on, Vu Hong? So, yeah, that is the chat. They're coming out in droves tonight, wondering what is going on with this crazy YouTube change-up coming up in January.
There was a funny thing on Friday. So me and Chad, you'll remember this because Chad got an email from, we're not going to say the person's name, but Chad got an email saying this guy was really upset Friday because me and Chad and Carson weren't on like the Off the Rail show. We all were out, doing something different and everything. And so we're sorry. We thought, since we weren't on Friday, this little three-man show here, we thought we would do this tonight just for you at home because we knew y'all wanted to see Chad, Carson, and myself do what we do best, and that's entertain all y'all. Yeah? Dude, he was pissed. Yeah, man. I was like, holy hell, you had Cat Rin, you had Drew Manchu, you had some of the best talent you're ever going to see in the community.
He was like, he said, how dare you not tell us that you're not going to be on?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sorry, my grandfather was in the hospital.
I was sick. I've been having some personal sickness stuff with the colon, and I ain't going to give you too much info, but so I was out myself. So, and Carson, what were you doing Friday night?
If you were paying attention on the previous episode, I said I was going to be at Cincinnati Comic Expo the following Friday.
Carson,
I called it in advance on the previous Comic Core.
Carson said to me, he's like, I told everybody I wasn't going to be live.
Hold up.
All right. So here is so like a presidential.
Yeah.
So this is like going to be like, it's like a presidential seal, but it's going to be mounted on the front of our stand that we're going to be doing interviews at in Baltimore. And I made it out of EVA foam, a couple tons of layers. But then I got bored and
there it is. Look at that.
I don't know if it'll show.
Dude, it looks so cool, man.
I'll turn off. Let me get the other light.
So yeah, this is inspiration from Silver Age Dave's logo that he always has in his videos, and it's really cool. It's got that metallic kind of feel, that silver feel, if you will, Silver Age Dave.
That thing is super bright.
Dude, that looks freaking awesome.
I was like super worried. Like we can change it from the red brand.
Nice.
We can always go to the unlimited blue brand.
Ooh.
And then they have this one. I don't even know what this color is. It's like multicolor. And then we've got, for Jason Smith, who's in the chat, Mazel Tov, by the way. Congratulations on
Jason, you know.
This is
I know Silver Age Dave has a lot of grandkids, but Jason Smith is slowly catching up to you, Dave. So watch out, man. Your numbers are getting caught up. Jason Smith's cranking out these grandkids like no other, man. It's
good. And Silver says his logo is influenced by the Bat Avenger logo. So everything comes full circle.
Mm-hmm. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, so many great people in the chat. I know you got one grandkid, Jason. Don't be lying. Don't be lying, Jason. We got Perry. Perry
workers are coming out.
Man, great to see Perry, dude. He loves it, man.
If you guys haven't checked it out, Biggie Shack, the immortal Biggie Shack, and Perry Comics just did a live stream called Monday Night Raw. Check them out.
I like those Raw shows.
Yeah, and then the boy who has seven has a great panel going on as well. And that's the thing. And that's what I think people were doing a lot of, but I think people need to get back to doing that, is promoting other people's channels.
Yep. Comic Core's always done a great job at promoting others, you know, like, and even on auctions, you know, we'll do, hey, if there's multiple auctions going on, hey, I got 2 monitors, man. I could, you know, do all kind of stuff. I can put windows everywhere. I could move the tabs around into their own window and have tons of auctions going. But that's also dangerous too, because, you know, you might spend a lot of money.
No, Airboy the Barbarian, he's in the chat. He asked, what about what's this about no more auctions? Missed the first half. It's a potential. YouTube's changing and buttoned down, and we're just being cautious about it. But until we're told that we can't, we're going to do them, right?
That's true, man. And basically, Barbarian, for folks that are just joining in, you know, YouTube had to pay $170 million fine to the FTC because the FTC found out that YouTube wasn't protecting children's data when they watched videos or when they were subscribing, or, you know, it wasn't protecting. So like if a kid was watching a Minecraft video or a Roblox or a Fortnite gaming video, then they would read comments that may be harmful to that kid's psyche. Maybe the comments would have some cuss words in it, or even the gamers would cuss in their videos. And these little kids, my own son, who's freaking 11 years old, you know, we put him on the TV and he watches YouTube on the Xbox, but boom, when we hear a cuss word, and we'll hear him, you know, and if he watched my video, I think he's used to my cussing, but no, they would just let it go. So like, I mean, kids are getting influenced by these people that are making videos out on YouTube, and it's really not good for the kids. But at the same time, YouTube was using some of that data to steer the kids into other videos. So, I mean, it's good that they're cracking down on the protection rights of those kiddos, you know?
So we got Cobra Comics is in the chat. Welcome. It's nice to see him. I haven't seen him for a minute. Longbox Diving says swap to Twitch for the auctions. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
Facebook, we can do our auctions on our Facebook page. So if y'all want to see that, make sure y'all go over to the Comic Core Facebook page and like it and follow it. So if anytime we go live on Facebook Live, you'll know where to go to find the Comic Co.
And Jason Smith says, I'm opening up an online shop and I have an Infinity Stone ring on there for sale. Who did you get that from? Because anytime you wanted a comic, you were calling us.
Dude, and that's the thing. That was the ring you were going to give your fiance when you married her. Was that Infinity Stone ring, the one you got out of the Cracker Jack box? Thanos inside. Open it. Get some Cracker Jack box today.
TJ says, oh, please, nothing. Kids aren't exposed to swearing in school every day. Yeah, they absolutely are. I mean, John's a teacher, and I'm parenting. What's he say? I'm parenting first kind of guy. Be active and involved in your kids' screening, viewing, and they'll really ever off the path you want them. Don't make YouTube do it for you. But that's the problem, John, and I see it, and I'm sure you do in being in the education field. A lot of parents are absentee parents. I mean, a ton of people are absentee parents, so it's a shame. I joke around and say some people should take a test to become a parent. Fortunately, my son, he's 23, and I'm old.
And all y'all people, speaking of 23 and synchronicity, any of y'all people that did that 23andMe gimmick, well, y'all pretty much probably didn't read the fine print, and y'all gave y'all's DNA to these big companies. Well, that DNA they can clone if they wanted to and make another version of you. So they got that at their hands. With that DNA the strand of DNA, they can upload that into a blockchain, futuristically speaking. They can upload that into a blockchain and have everyone's DNA. So when you go to the hospital and you got that little chip in your hand or that chip in your forehead, you're going to be rubbing it in there. Well, they're going to have all your information. If you got diabetes, if you're HIV positive, if you're, you got a big ass toe that looks weird anyway, they're going to know because they got that information at the hands of their fingertips, man. So the thing about the whole data, I mean, I've got to be very careful because they're just taking this data, all those little, like, what was it, the Face app? I talked about that a while back. A lot of you saw Drake, that guy from Degrassi, the wheelchair kid. Y'all saw this dude with the Face app. Then every one of y'all got the Face app. But little did y'all know, the Face app was an app made by Russia. And once you gave that, once you downloaded that app, you also gave them rights to use any picture you've ever taken with the Face app for their own purposes. And then when we're talking Russia, we're talking about image manipulation, and also, the way they can scan your face and like run your face into a database. Damn, you only get those rhymes here. But so you got to be very careful with the stuff you'll download. You got to be really careful to read those terms of use so you'll know what you're getting into in this future digital reality we're living in.
TJ has a thing in the chat. Personal responsibility is a thing of the past, and then millennials have no idea what parenting is. 100% agree. Now, the purpose of us just like kind of going over this topic wasn't to like stand on a soapbox or do anything. It's just to make you aware of the changes that are coming, and as a community, how can we help one another to fix it or circumvent the situation. So as we grow and as you guys grow, share the information, what you learn, and try to be part of the community and keep this community, because I can tell you, I've been in it now 3 years, I think.
Long time.
Yeah, I'm a veteran, right? Carson, we're old.
Yeah,
we were
back
saying,
in my day,
and
we made money at 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah. So
be careful of the internet that you're on, Julian. Conky's gonna get you. All you people in the chat need to watch Conky on the Trailer Park Boys and see what we do to people that get their identity stolen.
Y'all know Conky from Trailer Park Boys. That was Bubbles' evil little puppet. I told that downright nerdy podcast, man. I got some voices, man. Y'all just got to give me that stage to announce these voices on. But like we said, and Chad said, if you find out this information, man, don't keep it to yourself. Tell your friends about it. Tell everyone about it. I get on Facebook from time to time and just, if somebody like I ain't gonna give the name of the gal, but she does a lot of those bad gimmicks where like, what's your birthday? Enter your birthday and we'll give you your spirit animal. So she gives her birthday. Or those classics, they'll have those little surveys. What's your favorite bands? What's this? What that? Well, a lot of times people use their favorite bands as a security question, or what town were you born in, or where did your parents meet? If you're answering those questions in a survey on Facebook, that's the number one sign you're not thinking right. You're not slowing down time. You're not looking in between the lines of the digital reality. But if you got to slow down with all this stuff you do, because on Facebook, that's what they do. They want you to put, they want you to answer the questions they give you, so they can give you a stupid little square avatar picture of a Marvel character. By the way you answer these questions, this is your Marvel character. By the way, you've just given them some personal information about yourself, so they can write a psychiatric profile of your own damn psyche on the internet. So you got to be really careful what the gimmicks they use to suck you in. And that goes right along with mystery boxes, whatever gimmick they're running. And last video I did on Legends Truth talked a lot about those mystery boxes that y'all also know and love. And I kind of gave you some examples of how they take your information after after those people buy the box. It's like they know, they'll go to your channel because you've hashtagged them. Whatever box, I almost gave the name of it. I can't, I'm not going to give the name of the company because I don't want to give those people any advertising, because y'all have already advertised for them. And that's what they want. And then when you advertise for them, they can go to your channel. They can say, oh, this guy didn't like our box, but he likes Ninja Turtles. So then they're going to send you some Ninja Turtles in the second box. I mean, you got to slow it down. You got to open your eyes, man. Don't you think, Carson, that with the realities we live in now, man, they got to slow it down and start, looking at themselves in the mirror and asking themselves, how much data did I give the internet today?
Yeah, I've been watching that show, Westworld, man. I finally finished that season 2 finale. And there's a character on there. I don't even know if he's like basically a Cylon or a host, whatever you want to call it, or not at this point. Man, that's some scary stuff. I was thinking about your avatar analogy, where you're just like, oh, cool, I got this new, I did the survey, so I got this Groot avatar. So cool, I am Groot. Now those guys can go, cool, we are Carson. That's awesome.
They got the Carson information.
Hey, Carson, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think that and I know we're saying that we're going to, as a community, just continue going down the road and sharing and being positive. Do you think that this, I know it stems from the fine that they got, but do you think any of it has to do with the fact that Disney also is going to be doing the streaming services? Because I know some of the streaming services are being leaked on YouTube, some of the shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just positioning themselves to be more aligned with Disney. Because
you never know. I mean, they could be kind of looking at that Netflix situation where, everybody, they had a phenomenal business model for a while, but now all these other companies and bigger companies are kind of catching on to what's going on over in your corner. So like with Netflix, they changed from physical DVD rental to streaming services. And when they switched to that streaming thing, man, things really took off. So then you have like someone like Hulu, like, man, that's a pretty cool idea. You guys got the movies. We're going to do that with television. And now everybody's streaming everything. So it's probably only a matter of time. We're like, man, we got to figure out something like YouTube for us. I'm sure Disney. And then we're like, yeah, we got to figure out that corner of the market so we can, exploit it for all of it's worth. It's just business is all it is.
Yeah, and what we all got this into it, and Carson, I'm going to pay you a ton of credit, and I hope he's still in the chat. I was about to quit YouTube completely, and Carson did a video about and did a shout out video for TJ, the Slab Dragon, and then I went and then watched TJ's video, and it changed my perspective of this community. And the community, to my point earlier, 3 years ago, was nothing like it is now. It is very, very awesome. I mean, now it's awesome. Before it was just, it was rough. I mean, let's face it. There was a lot of people out there that, it's changed. And I think if we as a community continue to support one another and promote one another, I think everything's going to be good. So I'm done on this topic for now. I'm actually exhausted.
Man, me too, dude. I mean, it is exhausting to even think about, but and it just really gets me angry on this stuff because I mean, it's just, I mean, social media does have its goods. I mean, I wouldn't have met you guys if there was no such thing as social media. I would never met or got to interact with a live chat if it wasn't for social media. But, you know, through the years, me and Mr. Gretzky, we've been doing this. I think Mr. Gretzky's probably the oldest soul I know in the chat right now. He says we've seen things like this. So we really have. We've seen it. You know, we've seen different trolls come in, try to split the community up multiple times, and you know, we've seen good people. You know, we lost good people. You know, some people that even passed away that have been in the comic book community. But we've seen a lot of good things. But the thing about it is, you know, the good times. I don't even remember. I was trying to remember that Razor Ramon. You know, what is the Razor Ramon Hall of Fame thing? Bad guys do or something.
I'm trying to think of it now.
He said, good guys, he says, good guys don't last, but bad guys do, or something.
Bad guys don't last, but bad guys do.
Oh man, that was a great analogy by Razor. But you know, we all are in this together, and you know, so as long as we support each other and show the love, and like Chad said, you know, when we started this channel, it was basically to get newer channels and get the smaller channels over. A lot of times, some of those smaller channels that we helped to get over. I remember we had one guy, I'm not going to name his name. We had one guy, we had him on our show on Friday. The following Friday, he was running live right up against us. You know, I mean,
How about
all for himself, basically.
I'm trying to think of the one guy he came on. It was a Funko. He did the Funkos. Do you remember? And he was like 100 subs away from 400.
Mm-hmm.
And I had all the duck butter people sub him up.
Oh yeah, all the people in that comic shop. And that
was Cobra. He was in earlier.
Yeah, they
Cobra
basically,
Comics.
yeah. You know, we're here to help you. You know, if you have questions about comics or you're new to comic book collecting, I mean, anyone in the chat can answer all your questions. I mean, we got people that are slab people, we got variant people, we got all kind of folks in here. And then David SNMC Comics, he said, what the F happened to the YouTube awards? YouTube awards were really cool, but then there were some people that got upset about them. So the guy that used to do them, you know, Comic Book Estate, he went ahead and did away with them because it was causing more controversy than it was like, you know, telling the YouTubers they did a great job.
I kind of agree with that though, because like, let's face it, it takes a lot of balls to turn on a camera, talk to a camera, put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
But like in doing so, I met some of my best friends. And my family. I mean, these guys from Pocan Joe in the chat and John's Comics with Kids and YouTube Nimrods. I mean, I talk to you guys more than I talk to some relatives of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think I literally talk to Legend and Carson and Kat probably every single day. And I think the community has 100% improved, and it's going to keep on going that way if we continue to support each other.
That's true. I remember David SNMC, Seeking Nimerick Comics, back in the day, he started getting into the YouTube comic book community. He told us a story one time where these assholes at his comic shop were kind of bashing him for buying like variant comics because, you know, he loved the variants. A lot of awesome, I mean, so you get some of the best cover art on some of these awesome variants. I know I got a shit ton of like Fantastic Four variants, and man, I just love them. And I probably spend a little more than I should, but I mean, they're Fantastic Four. I mean, everyone loves them, right? But you know, he got a little flack from being a variant collector, you know, and then there's some, you know, there's probably even some collectors that hate slabs. But then if you watch TJ, man, this man has the kingdom of slabs. I mean, so there's a lot of people that collect different ways. But the thing is, we got to learn to love and accept everybody for who they are, because that truly makes the community grow. If you're just one person out there, you know, doing all your stuff, trying to make, you know, money because this is your business and all this kind of stuff, that's cool and all. But what I think is, don't be like don't be bullshitting, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're in it for the money, let the fans know you in it for the money. Back in the day when the legend was gaming and I was doing all that shit, yeah, I'd take some damn donations because, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was a damn good gamer. Cooking videos, yeah, man, I'll take some donations. I'll cook you up something good.
I would have taken
chicken shit into chicken salad, baby.
I would have taken some donations because we did not sell enough T-shirts to apply somebody.
That's right. We all had to pitch in. That see, that's true story. And I'm not gonna put myself on a pedestal or anything. But we didn't sell enough T-shirts, so I put in some money. I know Carson and Kat, they put in some money. Everyone put in some money to kind of help out with the Comic Core because, nothing in life is free, so it's hard out there. So I understand folks that do, I understand, folks that do take money because hell, man, I've taken donation money, but of course, I put it right on in. Of course, I give the love to the fans, when they get to donate and all that good stuff. But it's going to be a lot harder now since they're getting rid of some of that stuff. Classifying comics and everything is for kids, and then of course getting rid of the comments and all that kind of nonsense. But like you said, Chad, I think as long as we can find ways to beat those algorithms and, turn, it's kind of like what Piper used to say, just when YouTube thinks they have all the answers, we can change the questions on their ass and we can turn that digital reality we could turn that dial back to analog and try to survive a little bit longer with the freaking normal air we breathe and all that kind of good stuff,
I'll give a shout out to the chat for you, Carson, and then do you mind showing your stuff from the weekend?
Yeah, I can show those too. I'll save the books for tomorrow since there's a
do
stack.
the book. Do the book.
I'll at least do the sketchbook after you do the chat.
All right, we got TJ the Slab Dragon says, "Preach it, legend. There's no way to collect. There's no one way to collect." Pocan says, I worked for like 3 minutes on this stuff. Haters, man.
Not many people collect this kind of stuff.
Dave Sinking Near Med says, only way to collect comics, don't buy mystery boxes from some. Okay. Pocan says, all right, go to the books.
All right. So I actually went to my local shop today. They have like a Vintage Monday type deal. And sometimes on Instagram, he'll put like messed up pictures of the book. And then you guess which book it is. And today I guessed which book. So I got a $10 discount. So with that $10 discount, I bought a $10 copy of this book right here, the Superman Annual number 11. So I basically got this for free. And in my opinion, and please put it in the chat if you can think of a better read, but I think this is the best single issue of Superman ever written. Basically, in this one, Superman gets the Black Mercy put on him by Mongol, so the Black Mercy kind of messes with his head, makes him think he's in Krypton, has a wife and kids. Basically, it gives him that dream scenario he always wanted. Krypton never blew up. He gets a chance to, live out his days on Krypton as a farmer. He gets his family, his father's still alive. So you get to see him and his child Van-El kind of explore Krypton. Meanwhile, in the real DC universe, Wonder Woman, Jason Todd, Robin, and Batman are going to the Fortress of Solitude to celebrate, Superman's birthday. They're trying to figure out, what do you get for the man who has everything? And that's the title of the story, for the man who has everything. And, on arrival, they discover the Black Mercy has been placed upon Superman, and Mongol is behind this whole thing. So they end up fighting Mongol. Mainly it's Wonder Woman fighting Mongol because Batman knows, especially in this comic, he has no chance of even putting a dent in Mongol. So Batman and Robin, they're trying to figure out how to get the black, the rose off of him while Wonder Woman fights for her life. And yeah, Gretzky put it in the chat. I actually watched that right before I started this live stream, and I said they used the story for the Justice League Unlimited cartoon. Yeah, J.M. DeMatteis did an adaptation for Justice League Unlimited, which is a phenomenal watch as well. It's one of the best episodes of that. It doesn't have Jason Todd, Robin in it, but it has Batman and Wonder Woman. But nonetheless, they figure out, actually it's more of just Superman realizing that the place he's living in isn't real. So there's this heartbreaking scene where he has to tell Van-El that he isn't real and nothing around them is real. And that's when he gets Black Mercy off of his chest, and it actually gets projected on the Batman's chest. And you can only imagine what Batman visualizes. That's right. Batman's father actually fighting back, and not getting shot in Crime Alley. So that could have been another cool story right there.
Really cool, because Mongol's all about playing mind games with his opponents. So this is a great book for the topic that we're talking about. And I told Carson I was going to get this Superman Annual 11 and read it on DC Universe app. So me and Carson, we could talk about it on Friday. And Carson, real quick, who's the dynamic duo on that comic book?
Oh, this one. It's
the writer and artist.
You're talking all-time greats. This one's Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, the Watchmen.
Oh, wow, nice.
Watchmen brothers, right there.
Yeah. So when you're talking like those quintessential '80s reads, like Watchmen, Dark Knight Returns, all those Daredevil, Born Again, I think this one's up there along with it. You kind of actually have a hardcover over there that combines this read with Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, which was like the last Silver Age, Bronze Age Superman story, also written by Alan Moore. I can't recommend those enough. So this read right here, I think maybe the best single issue of Superman ever printed.
Damn.
If anyone can think of a better one, please let me know, because I am
Mr. Gretzky at 966. I have something that's better than that. You ready? It's called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. I've been really big into Westerns.
Oh, right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne. Dude,
damn. James
so
Stewart, John
good.
Wayne. Mary. Was it Martha? Mary. I know he kept yelling.
Oh,
Mary.
my God. It was so good. Hey, we got Count Von Strange in the
nice.
In the hood. All right.
Count made a video today talking about some good comic book stories he was reading.
I watched a little bit of that before we hopped on.
Kat and I are doing the Stephen King challenge.
Ooh, what's that?
It's big secret. We're gonna.
Right.
It's gonna be debuting this week.
Is it what night are we gonna? Are y'all gonna do the Stephen King challenge?
We have to do it for 13 straight days.
Ooh, damn.
See, Kevin Orr says it. Super good movie. It is. It's called The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It's on Encore Westerns right now.
Damn. You know,
Nice.
I got to spend some time with a fellow YouTuber yesterday, aka Splash Page Comics, and we went to one of the stores here in North Texas. And man, I was looking for some good westerns, but I looked in the old school box and they had Sea Hunt starring Lloyd Bridges, which was kind of like, if you think about that Sequest show, think about 3 or 4 decades before Sequest, and you had Sea Hunt with a young, handsome Lloyd Bridges with the brown hair. You know, most of us remember his white hair from the likes of Airplane, or what is it, Hot Shots Part 2 or whatever. So yeah, got to hang with Splash Page. So look for his Splash Page Comics and look for his channel as he goes Splash Page, Mr. Right Gloves across America, as he visits different comic book stores and gets some good interviews from the owners of the stores. How about you, Carson? What do you got going on? When is the next Seawood 19 Tuesday night live stream?
Well, tomorrow happens to be Tuesday, and I have a whole bunch to show in this sketchbook here, and I got a whole bunch of books downstairs that I got from Cincinnati Comic Expo. So tomorrow, we'll call it 7:30 once again, Eastern. Tuesday night live stream tomorrow. So can't wait to do that.
What other books you got?
Oh, you want to see some more?
Yeah, man.
All right, well, I left most of my books downstairs. I'll show the sketches in a second since everybody's here. I read Flash Forward issue 1 to see if they could kind of put a Band-Aid on the poor Wally West character.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, you got Scott Lobdell and Brett Booth on this book here. It's not too bad. I'm curious to see where the story goes, but I don't know if I'm going to keep up this book. I might just wait for that DC streaming app on that.
He's trying to run throughout the multiverse so he doesn't disappear. He wants to stay relevant.
Yeah, there's I can't remember.
Channel.
Tempest is recruiting Wally West to help fight the Dark Multiverse once
the
again.
dark
So it
side.
goes back to the Dark Multiverse. Cover by the week. Got to get that Supergirl 34. Thought that was real nice.
That's a beautiful cover.
I keep tripping over this book in dollar bins, and I keep buying it every time. Wolverine 88, the big Deadpool Wolverine first fight. A lot of fun there.
Cool.
And then the other one I got this week, I read the Abrams Family Spider-Man. So I don't know how much I want to spoil on this right now on the Comic Core channel, but this is not at all what I expected. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I guess there's been some negative press on this book. I would suggest, maybe if everyone can, pick up a copy and read it real quick, just, give it a little bit of a chance. I may actually be in for this since Spider-Man Life Stories wrapped up. This kind of goes the opposite direction of Spider-Man Life Stories. So this may fill that void now that the Life Story miniseries is done. Because I think this is only running for like 5 issues.
And tell me about that Sarah Pacelli. Does she do interiors or was it just a cover?
Yeah, Sarah Pacelli does the interiors. Oliver Coipel or Olivier Coipel, however you pronounce his first name, he does the A covers on this.
Okay.
And it's written I think it's mainly written by J.J. Abrams' son, Henry. So it's probably like J.J. kind of pitches the idea and Henry writes the words in there and that stuff. So other than that, like I said, I kind of don't want to spoil too much for the people watching out there, but this book went in the direction I completely did not expect. And I don't think that's such a bad thing because there's so many Spider-Man books and Absolute Carnage books and that saturating the market right now that a little bit of fresh air right here, in my opinion.
And how many times have we said the exact same thing about some of the stuff Grant Morrison has written? You think it's like, what the hell's Morrison doing? And then you start reading it more, and they're like, oh, that's what he did.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Actually, I think it's late to read the latest Green Lantern. I got like a little backlog I got to read tomorrow.
Bueller said he said he liked that book. I know he did a video a little bit before we went on air. I want to definitely check that out because I've heard too many mixed reviews on that book, and like I value you and his opinion on that book. So because I've heard some people just trash it, like the mainstream,
You can compare and contrast Bueller's review with Carson's review and see how they mesh together and see what views. But the best way to do it is read the book for yourself and form your own opinions.
I think they both. I think you liked it, right?
I would say, yeah, I enjoyed it for the most part.
So, I mean, like one of the best books that I read this year that nobody talked about was the Spider-Man Through the Years.
Huh. The life story?
Yeah.
That was really good. Like that came out of nowhere for me too. Big shout out to Drew for recommending that to us.
That was a phenomenal book.
Yes.
And
that's Spider-Man of the Year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the most underrated books, and nobody really talked about it. You know what I mean?
Well, like that's the same for me. Like, not the Spider-Man, but the Green Lantern by Grant Morrison. A lot of people weren't down with Liam Sharp. There's like, oh, Liam Sharp, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, that fit with Liam Sharp and Grant Morrison together, man, perfect combo, great story. It just is really like an old Buck Rogers Golden Age space adventure, man. It's so much fun.
I think Liam Sharp did pretty good on that book. I think they hired him to draw those unique looking aliens, and that's what they gave him. So I don't know why. I mean, his humans, they were a little rough around the edges, but I'm fine with that. I mean, but you see some of these, like, because when you're talking Grant Morrison, you're gonna get some messed up Green Lanterns and space aliens. I mean, there was like a Green Lantern, his head was like a volcano.
And one thing with Grant Morrison, Grant Morrison's one of those guys that could see in between the lines of that digital reality, man. And he puts all kind of little hidden Easter eggs in there that I believe in. I just freaking love it, man. It's like we're on the same wavelength or something,
There's a book he wrote. I have it. I read it. I can't remember what it's called. And it's not a comic book.
It's just a regular book then.
Yeah, and it's about you can tell when he is high as a kite in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or that's sometimes the only way you can see through the digital realities. You got to take a little toke on it. You know what I'm saying?
He talks about peyote in it.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think what it was called, but it was. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah, because that peyote, it's kind of like Young Guns, man. You go on that spirit walk with Chavez. And you're going to see some stuff you didn't expect to see.
Here it is. Super Gods by Grant Morrison.
Damn, Super Gods.
Yeah, and it's got a cover of like Batman on the cover of it. It's just like a silhouette. It's in paperback now. It's also in on audio. It's free, so if you have Audible,
Oh, okay.
put in the Comic Core code and you'll get it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Not a sponsor. I'm just fucking with everybody. But
I wish Audible was our sponsor. Maybe we can get some free stuff to read, you know?
yeah, but it talks about it. He was like, just imagine waking up and they haven't had like it's Action Comics, and you see this man taking a car,
A green car,
and smashing it into a rock, and people running in terror. Like at that time, people were probably just terrified, and he goes into it like, you know, this hadn't been around, and it really gets you thinking about the origin of comic books and like the creativity and just the thoughts of the era and how it's changed throughout. And the book's a couple years old, so it definitely would hold substance. Phenomenal read, though. If you guys get a chance, I would highly recommend reading it.
It's kind of like you take a Superman, a guy with all those powers in the early years, you know, around 1940, and then if you take it into today's time, you give a millennial that kind of power, he's going to go Brightburn and just kill everybody, you know, and go ape shit, you know. So yeah, times are definitely changing. You know, it's kind of like, you know, we see, and this isn't something to joke about, but we see kids that their minds get manipulated by the propaganda and the shit they see in social media, and then they go and shoot some damn schools. You know, they're bringing the guns to school and shooting the schools. So think about some kid that got mind controlled by the propaganda of what they see in social media, but they had Superman powers. You know, you don't social media bully a kid that has heat vision, or he's going to fucking assassinate you. You know what I mean?
Well, I think a lot of that, we're getting back on this crazy topic. Do you guys remember Bernie Mac?
Bernie Mac, great show, man, great comedian.
So Bernie Mac had this thing. He's like, you know what's the matter with today's kids? There's no big mamas. So he goes, you know, when I was a kid, Big Mama would bust my ass. He said, today, you know,
that big ass woman on the Tom and Jerry cartoons. I know what you're talking about.
He said, but today, mom's 18, grandma's 27, great grandma's
are on their cell phones.
Great grandmother's 30. Nobody gives a shit. So, yeah. But all right, Carson, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I guess I'll show the sketches to this crowd.
Yeah. Let's end it on a happy note, Carson.
I go back to the sketchbook for every show I'm on. It's going to be great. So I got me a Andy Bennett sketch. First sketch I got at Cincinnati Comic Expo this weekend. So Andy Bennett, in my opinion, highly underrated artist. So there's a Joker. He actually, if you guys ever notice, the Catwoman in my background, he did this last year as a part of his Inktober project. So he sold his Nicholson Joker, but I bought up the Catwoman last year. So I'm like, this year, I'm like, man, I kind of want a Nicholson Joker. So I just had him do one for the book, and he was very happy to oblige. I got Jordan Gunderson to do an Aspen Matthews for the book because Aspen had a booth there. So I figured, why not get some Aspen style in the book? And man, he just did his best Mike Turner on that. Absolutely amazing. So thought that was really cool to get right there. Got Chris Campana did this Mum-Ra, the Ever Living from Thundercats. So I thought that was really awesome. We had some Thundercats.
You didn't want to get Monkeyan? Monkeyan or Jack.
Oh.
those three guys and the lizardy guy. Those were the Stooges.
Briscoe Patterson.
Yeah.
This one was a big hit on Instagram. Got a Darkwing Duck from Kaylin Smith. She was an absolute sweetheart. She was awesome to talk to. She actually flipped through the book and she was just like, it was just an honor to be part of this book. I'm like, well, no, thank you. This is an awesome Darkwing Duck. So I know it was a pretty big hit when I posted it on Instagram. So she's a great artist. Really like the work she did there. Actually, did I skip one? I feel like I did. Maybe.
How about that JP?
And then I got the last one I got. This one was from Jimmy Palmiotti. He did this one for free. So I was just walking out of the con. I was buying a Starfire print for the wall. Me and my brother, we wanted prints. So I didn't have any other books to have them sign. So I was like, sometimes I get, signatures inside the first panel of my sketchbook like so. So I gave it to Amanda Connor first, who did this awesome Power Girl. She said she was tired of drawing Harley, so she did a Power Girl. She signed her name, she did the boob window, and then she drew the face, which I thought was kind of a hilarious sequence of events. Actually, I was talking to JP Budget Collecting on Instagram, and he's like, yeah, it's an awesome Power Girl. She really knows where to focus. I put hashtag boob window, and Jimmy Palmiotti actually liked the post. So but yeah, then Palmiotti, he's just like, what book is that you're signing? He's like, oh, it's a sketchbook. He's like, hand it here. So he he looked through every sketch in this book. He's like, I need to add something to this book. So he did this Wolverine sketch. So they were both super nice. They know how to treat their fans. So huge shout out to Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti for spending a lot of time with me and my books. So
your book's amazing, bro. I mean, is this one? Do you have any that's filled completely, or
no? I've been working on the same book since 2006.
Okay,
that's awesome.
I just happened to have a lot of good luck this last con. I mean, I got 5 sketches in 2 days, so I think that's like a record for me. I think I haven't done that since I got this book, and you could get more free sketches.
When I saw Palmiotti in 2013, man, no line. Amanda Connor didn't have any line, but boy, after Amanda Connor went going crazy on the Harley Quinn,
yeah,
that's my guy right there.
Ron Wilson, Human Torch. I got at Indiana Comic Con a few weeks back.
Ron Wilson's Human Torch. Now that's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Right there.
Style. Yeah, he killed it on that one. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking about like when I go to Baltimore, this may be the only thing I take with me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've been boring these people for an hour and 15 minutes.
We've been doing our best with our social media influence to open up y'all's eyes to the things that are happening in today's times, aren't we, Chad?
We try. And to the guy that sent the email, hey, this was really for you.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let us go out with the comic horror and show credit. Ready?